just fucking do it live, man, so we can get out of here.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Fuck it, we did it live.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Today on Stumbling Down History Road, we're going to be talking about the history of Adult Swim. I'm Jackson.
I'm Garrett. Nice to meet you guys.
I am always, unfortunately, D.
This is our first repeat guest. He was on a marijuana episode.
Yes.
Wait, no. I lie. Fucking Tom.
No, well,
Yep, Tom was a repeat.
I'm not
He
even
was
going
our
to
first
say it
repeat.
because then we're going to have to restart the restart.
Yeah.
Because when we initially aired and recorded, I was the holder of that title.
Lost episodes.
Lost
Lost
episodes,
episode.
yes. When
So
we
yeah,
did
he's our first repeat guest. But not for you.
our first repeat guest.
Yeah. This is
Like
your third
Pete
time
and
here.
Pete.
Why do you keep visiting us? This is your third time here.
This is the third time.
Lost episode.
Lost episode.
But
That's when we were
yeah,
just
so
in
Adult
the
Swim.
V Club.
Let's talk a little bit about Adult Swim.
All right. So
Who-
shall I begin?
Sure. I want
Alright.
to see where you go with this.
So-
I'm very curious.
Adult Swim came out in the early 90s, 94, I believe, or 90.
Well,
So Space Coast Coast to Coast, which is the first program for Adult Swim, came out in 94. However, in 99, they did a special programming thing for, I believe it was April Fool's Day. And
the classic April Fool's Adult Swim tradition.
and that aired the pilots and little wannabe episodes of what is known as Adult Swim now. But it officially came out in September of 2021.
September of 2021.
Sorry, September of 2001.
Are you sure? That's
Yeah, it came out in 2001.
'Cause I
First
was already-
officially. Like its own programming block, Adult Swim, 2001. That's where we had the first 6 shows that it had.
I guess that might be right because I was driving.
He's
and
old.
I was already out of high school, so
He's
yeah,
old.
that makes sense. Because so anyway,
He was an adult.
we would go back to my buddy's house. I told the story before to you guys. We would go back to my buddy's house.
Please stop coughing.
And
Trying.
we would, steal a bunch of his mom's fucking weed, and we would go and hang out in his room, and we would roll up these fucking fat joints and fucking blunts, and we would fucking sit there and smoke. And his mom would be smoking in the other room, but she'd be yelling at us because, the whole fucking house smelled like weed, but she'd smell it out of his room. And we would sit there and fucking watch Chappelle Show and
Chappelle Show.
Adult Swim. And it was like religion. We would go back to his house, and when Chappelle Show was on, we were watching Chappelle Show, and then Adult Swim aired every night, but they had Dave Chappelle only once a week, but Adult Swim was every night, but we would watch that religiously. And we would just sit there and get high as fuck, and that's what we remember. Like, that's what I remember is one of my, most fondest memories of hanging out with my boys, fresh out of high school.
So Adult Swim initially, when it first aired, wasn't actually a 5-day-a-week thing. It was actually just the weekends.
Just the weekend?
Yeah, back in 2001. It didn't pick up for during the week until I think it was like 2002, 2003. I know in 2003 they actually changed it to the bracket sign that everybody knows and loves now,
Yeah.
as opposed to what it initially started off as.
Missed the old bumpers.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, started
Speaking
out,
of, we'll talk about what bumpers are, but
so yeah,
that'll be down.
I mean, I'm not too far off the accuracy of that because, we started out watching it, but then it eventually was an everyday thing.
Well, they did switch to the adulter cartoons anyway after, so it wasn't, even so it was pre-adult.
So yeah, there was
Swim.
Toonami, which predated Adult Swim, and then there was Adult Swim.
Well, I meant like after 9 o'clock they'd switch to like,
Yeah.
they played a lot of King of Hill. A lot of King of the Hill.
Yeah, King of the Hill was on there, yeah.
Yeah, but Adult Swim came about by Mike Laszlo, which some people might recognize as like Camp Lazo, but silliness. He was pretty much the guy that ran Cartoon Network, the programming for it, and he actually ended up inheriting a lot of the cartoon rights of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons through Ted Turner, who bought TBS, who had all of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Interesting fact about Camp Lazlo. You know it takes place in Rocco Martin's Life's universe?
Yeah.
And the head of the camp association is Heifer. He appears in the last episode.
Huh. That
Well,
one I did not know.
Well, they couldn't get the rights to Heifer, so it's a guy who kind of looks like a heifer, but it was supposed to, in the original cut and version of it, it was Heifer from Rocco's Modern Life. Yeah, true story.
But yeah, so Adult Swim, I said, had 6 initial cartoons. It was
Not
Space
sponsored.
Ghost Coast to Coast, Home Movies, which it bought the license from, I believe it was Fuse or VH1, something like that. And then it also had some other original programming, C-Lab 2021, new shows. It had that. It had Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which was the only original show that it aired, not including Home Movies, because that was, like I said, inherited through somebody else.
They're bringing back Aqua Teen.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
They're bringing new season ordered.
Dude, I saw the initial running. I saw I saw it on YouTube. Sponsor us.
YouTube?
Yeah, sponsor us.
YouTube. Sponsor. Not a premium pay member.
Yeah.
Yo, did you see their new terms of services?
No, I should.
Uh,
But let me. So, as it turns out, the Mooninites, they were the fucking voices of Frylock and Master Shake. It was so weird hearing those. Oh yes, I am the Master Shake.
oh, the original.
Yeah, the original pilot back in 1999.
The original pilot for a few shows is wild. What's it called?
But yeah, it was the Brack Show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, which is hilarious.
Harvey Birdman.
But it was a whole bunch of reused, rehashed, licensed, nobody cared about fucking shows that.
Almost kind of like spin-offs. Or not spin-offs. You keep cutting me. What are you doing over there with the
I'm turning up your volume because you fucking are quiet.
I'm sorry, I talk so much.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck you. Huh? No, so they kind of
Just inch the mic closer.
you keep telling me I'm too close, now you're pushing the mics towards me.
No. I said you're too quiet.
Too quiet. All right, so look. So here's what I was trying to say. They kind of basically they had all these characters that they were using that were, I guess, kind of off of other shows. Not really off of other shows.
Yes,
but
they were all repurposed Hanna-Barbera
repur-
cartoons.
Yeah. And
Yeah, they just
turned them
literally-
into kind of short shows and put them on for our fucking enjoyment.
Yeah. And Eric Andre is a show that comes in later, but he quotes a lot of his humor coming from and stemming from actually the Space Ghost Coast to Coast show, and where he gets a lot of his off the beats humor, that type of shit, which is kind of cool. Just little factoids there. But yeah, they ended up adopting Cowboy Bebop, which ended up being huge. Cowboy Bebop was their bread and butter in terms of anime for God knows how long.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop's just a good anime.
Yeah. Which actually had arguably one of the greatest dubs of all time, as people
Oh
refer to
yeah,
it.
no, amazing. Hell, I still want to bring it back to a different episode. I still want the Spikes Jericho as a personal carry arm. Bring it back to the guns episode.
Firearms.
Well, you could actually get you could get custom mod grips for
Check us out.
Jerichos.
The firearms episode.
They do 3D printing mod kits for it now. Yeah,
Intriguing.
because he has a customized squared off grip with the laser pointer.
Intriguing.
Yeah.
But as stated with the April Fool's Day tradition thing, Adult Swim more or less just had this weird tradition of airing off the beat everything, and during their April Fool's Day, they would have really just these super off the beat things, like I said, and
Or they'd mess with the regular shows and add stuff to it. Or I think probably
They
most
actually-
famous is the Aqua Teen movie.
that's one. And there's another that I remember hearing about, but
Is it the glitch one? Because I've seen the glitch one where they run it as like a continuous like thing, but there's like it's bookended with like this children's TV show that gets mogged with like this weird computer glitch stuff, and then that's recently. It's pretty interesting, especially when you're tripping and you just happen upon it on YouTube because they put the whole thing on YouTube.
yeah, I don't remember what it is offhand, but that's all right.
No, they've done a lot of famous. Too Many Cooks, another one that was
Too many,
That wasn't an April Fool's Day. That was just one of their
many cooks.
one of their skits, because they do a lot of mockumentaries. They do a lot of fake infomercials, a lot of fake TV promos.
especially like for the
Salad.
late night stuff, like 3 a.m. shit.
Oh my god! So we can get in on that, but that's besides the point.
Here, just
But
put it on
Adult
top of this for
Swim,
now.
Adult Swim pretty much made its name and made its claim to fame, and really grew as a like part of the cultural relevance by actually engaging with the fans. They would read emails. They would have these things called bumpers, as mentioned, which were just black text, white border, fillers in between TV shows, in
Oh,
between
they showed respond
episodes
to
and
your
things.
emails during
Yes.
the bumpers.
Or
Yeah,
the fan pick episodes.
Yeah, fanfic episodes. They would have all sorts of
Or like
shit.
the fan-driven fucking programming.
Yeah, the fan scheduling. That's how I first watched Fooly Cooly because the fan wanted the whole show all at once.
Yep.
Which,
Yep.
by the way, great anime. Also, Fooly Cooly, the first season.
And-
Can't see for the second or third yet.
And Ted Turner, because it kept making money because the shows cost nothing. They were
Wait, you mean
all
Captain Planet, Ted Turner.
no,
No,
no.
Ted
I'm
Turner.
talking.
Ted Turner of the owned
That's
the Atlanta
a Robot
Braves.
Chicken reference, though, which
He
is
owned the
also
Atlanta Braves. Turner Brass Turner Broadcasting.
Is that Ted Turner? Captain Planet.
Robot
Robot
Chicken. We'll get to that, I'm sure, but Robot Chicken is probably Aqua Teen and Robot Chicken, two of my favorite.
Yeah, so Robot Chicken is another one of its own
Original.
individual original programming, but we'll come
Done
to
by
that.
Seth Green.
Seth Green.
Who voices Chris Griffin, as a lot of you may know, and a couple other things, but he's
They
most
trade
known for
barbs
that.
at each other in the shows too. It's always funny.
Oh yeah, but
Stupid monkey.
yeah, so they were able to really leverage the fact that, they were talking with the community. They were playing these stupid, oddball, funny fucking jokes and shows that were really mature for their age and didn't treat people like they were, children in terms of cartoons.
I mean,
it cost nothing to make because they had the licensings already. So they were just like repurposing everything.
I mean, it was kind of like a genius thing because it was geared towards obviously adults, Adult Swim, but it was geared. It came out. A lot of us. I was a little bit older than them when it came out, but you're kind of like longing for this cartoon feel type thing where it's like
Where they don't treat you
nostalgia,
like a children.
but you're
It's
not. But
like
you're
a
not
children.
treated like
It's like a good intermediate between like children's cartoons and like actual adult real world shows.
Yeah,
It's a
because,
good
I mean-
intermediate.
as some of the shows were a lot less, a lot less subtle with their stuff, and it was a little bit more over the top and probably not geared for kids. Most of it wasn't geared for kids, but some of it was just like
No, not kids.
no, but like
Teens
preteens,
is okay.
because it was like some
Preteens is a little young, I would say.
like some slapstick humor,
Depending on
like,
which
no,
show.
like not preteens, but like 14, 15, 16.
That's teen. That's what I
yeah,
said.
but that's like early teens. They're not like
They're still a teenager.
yeah, but
Literally
they're
in the
still
name. 13.
13-year-old
Dude, I
kids
got
these
preteens
days.
watching fucking Robot Chicken bits on TikTok now.
Yeah.
13-year-old kids these days are watching some crazy shit.
You can
So
find
they've-
anything on that app.
They've probably seen more porn than we have.
Dude,
Yeah,
the fucking cartel talk.
Like,
you can find anything on
There's
that app.
cartel TikTok.
You can find
Shit's
anything on
crazy.
that app except for us. Speaking of, that's your new job.
Really?
Yep.
I gotta make the
So-
TikTok.
Yep.
So it was kind of like a perfect,
You already have it.
It was like
What's
a
under
perfect like storm, I guess you could say, where we wanted it, we ate it up. You know, like we were eating it up, and they just kept putting on all these fucking.
Again, because they
Amazing
weren't
shows.
patronizing us.
No,
They were
yeah.
actually communicating
They
with
were-
us. They were engaging with us, and you saw it. You saw it in the feedback.
But if the programming was shit and they didn't put out good shows, it didn't matter how much interaction because nobody would care because it wasn't worthwhile watching. But it was like
Yeah, but they
it was
also
just slowly, progressively got better. Some people didn't enjoy everything of the programming, but
Well, there is a laundry list. I mean, it is almost insane how many shows
Oh,
that it
probably-
just lets run 1 or 2 episodes as pilots, and it just nothing because they
Oh, yeah.
because they started switching over to a 15-minute format, which, as it turns out, is genius because it's at that late at night easy to just forget about it and have it on and never even care about anything.
Well, it seems
Well,
they
the
switched
attention
back to a
span-
30-minute format, though.
the attention span is that of I mean, at that as the night wears on,
It's
you're
lower and lower, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably getting higher and higher, or more fucked up on whatever substance it is, or you're just getting closer and closer to fucking passing out. So
Or you're working and you only have 15 minutes because you're on break.
Yeah, so you just exactly. So you just put on that like that latest fucking bit from
Robot Chicken.
from Robot Chicken or Adult Swim. And
But
it's that quick
it's-
bit.
It is, I think, in the thousands how many TV shows have had an episode and just done nothing with it.
On Adult Swim alone? Oh, yeah.
Adult Swim
yeah.
alone, not Cartoon Network. Adult Swim.
Oh, please. Cartoon Network used to have whole fucking months where they dedicate to single episode pilot things that you'd vote on. That's
Yeah.
how Powerpuff Girls and shit came about, remember?
No. I'm young.
Chalk Zone was another one.
I remember Chalk Zone, but I don't remember like the
Rudy's
months.
got the chalk.
I don't remember like the month-long things where you would vote, and that's how Girls came about. I don't remember that. Is what I'm saying. I remember Powerpuff Girls.
See, that's a perfect example. Because, like, Powerpuff Girls or Dexter's Laboratory or something along those lines, as, like, a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid, you might enjoy that, but it's, like, you're getting past that point where it's, like, this is more towards the younger kid. Like maybe more towards, like, the preteens or, like, the
Yeah.
12, 11, 12, 10, 11.
Yeah.
like
They're
that.
not watching The Wiggles, but they're not watching Family Guy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, it kind of like was that next progression.
It was the next step.
Yeah. It was the natural progression in adults watching.
Although I would say that Family Guy should have been the next step in between Powerpuff Girls and fucking some of the shit that's on Adult Swim.
Oh, some
Because
of the shit
some of it is
But
just
there were stepping stones in between that because you had
some of the
Ren
shit
and
on Adult
Stimpy.
Swim got fucking wild.
again, Ren and Stimpy. I would say is
Beavis
probably
and Butthead. you
Beavis
know,
and Butthead is a good intermediate. Simpsons,
Well,
King
to
of
be
the
fair, Ren and Stimpy was
King
made
of the
by
Hill.
a creep, so
Simpsons.
yeah.
Even on like
wait, have you heard the shit about the Ren and Stimpy guy?
About the Ren and Stimpy guy? No, I have not. Good lord, you guys need to stop smoking for like 5 fucking minutes.
Sorry.
Holy shit.
I didn't cough at all.
Yes, you did.
When?
Anyway,
Not like this guy. You don't
Sorry.
cough, you don't get off.
no,
Fact.
dude, the Ren and Stimpy guy was a fucking.
Or the guy who created it? Yeah, I was watching that on what was that? The fucking I Want My MTV documentary that they had on Hulu.
Not sponsored.
He
We're not sponsored by Hulu. We're not sponsored by MTV. We're not sponsored by YouTube. Coca-Cola, you're not sponsoring us. Can we get some sponsors? Let's get some fucking sponsors.
I mean, we could. It's since it's legal in New York, we could see about getting weed sponsors.
But, yeah, back to Adult Swim. Fucking
So-
cougher. See?
Yeah, so I mean,
choke on it, bitch. But Adult Swim, it really was this perfect culmination. And then In 2003, they did this genius move. They picked up the rights to Family Guy. And that changed everything. Because now they were airing Family Guy, and Family Guy was canceled way ahead of its time, and it really did force Fox to bring back Family Guy. Adult Swim forced it back. It was a powerhouse of a show, which I don't know what Fox was thinking, but they let it slip. Adult Swim took it up, and they fucking owned it.
It wasn't even like
and they
it
made
was
a
also
huge
the DVD sales too.
Sure,
The DVD
sure, but they
sales
also
was what also helped too.
they also did this huge, bait about, hey Fox, how could you let us slide? Adult Swim, they're gonna treat us real. They're gonna treat us like adults. They're gonna actually air the one episode that we wouldn't air. When You Wish Upon a Jew.
Weinstein, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. When You Wish Upon a Weinstein.
You're thinking the song is "I Need a Jew," but the episode is "Wish Upon a Weinstein."
Which, yeah, it
Which
just
honestly wasn't that bad.
all things considered, no, but I can understand why they banned it.
I mean, given the current atmosphere around them now, all things considered, that's not that bad.
Yeah, but
Thinking of, we got top people on it now.
top people.
Looking for them Jewish space lasers.
And then again,
Sorry.
they came about and picked up Futurama when that got canceled, and that again, it just brought new life into Adult Swim and new life into Futurama. It drove it back into force. It just
Still took Comedy Central to bring Futurama back, though.
sure, but it wasn't gone, and it brought a new line of audience to it, which Futurama is one of my favorite shows.
Better
And
than
it just-
Family Guy, flat out.
It just is. I
Literally
it's
watching it
insane.
last night.
Yeah,
I'm showing my fiance it.
it's insane. There are so many good episodes to that.
I was like, oh, I can't wait to break your heart with the dog one. Then I go and I'm like, it's in season 5? Holy shit, that's so far in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't look up Jurassic Park.
Well,
Luck of the Friarish.
Oh, that's another one.
Ugh.
Yeah, those first 5 seasons, the movies were all right.
But
The revival seasons were pretty decent, though.
Adult
Not
Swim.
great, but good.
Adult Swim ended up getting itself into some controversial things, like when they did some promos for Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie film for theaters.
Oh yeah, the Boston thing. Oof, yeah.
So they were doing promos for the movie, and what happened was
They put out LED
they
road signs.
encouraged people to make their own like little LED almost drone type things that would just randomly go off and have them in the shape of Moonanites. And in Boston, as referenced, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so in Boston, this was like literally just shortly after the marathon incident,
The Boston Marathon bombing.
and the Bostonites saw these things and kind of
Bostonians?
Bostonians. I don't
Bostoners?
know. Who cares? They're not real people anyway. Hot take. Just like the Florida man, not a real person. That's a mythical creature. Bostonians are their own mythical race.
Are people really people? Let's be real now.
I don't know. I mean, realize.
So, Boston bombing.
Anyway, so this happened shortly after so the people of Boston thought they might have been, explosive devices.
They thought that there
And-
was terrorist signals as well.
Yeah,
Because
like
it was
they-
like appearing in subways.
Yeah.
On streets.
So they
in-
called, the cops, and people are flipping out and shit. And
Yeah.
Adult Swim got sued and had to pay out the ass for it and stuff. And
They're like, please stop.
yeah, we
We
made
made
a
a
mistake.
mistake.
No, we're sorry. We fucked up. And this is also right after literally making one of the few a record too, by being with the going back to the April Fool's prank by playing the entirety of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie before it showed in theaters on TV.
Yep.
First time that ever happened.
Yes, canonically, the first time that has ever happened, where they showed the movie film for theaters, which was meant for movie theaters,
Yeah,
on TV before it aired in theaters.
but they did it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, but they did it. They started like the first like 3.5 minutes of the film, and then as it went on, it shrunk and lost volume and went down to the bottom corner into like the tiniest little screen, so you
Yep.
could still see it if you like got really close to the TV and like stared at it. Sorry. But like you couldn't really hear, like I think it was like barely kind of audible in the background of the actual shows as they were going,
Yeah,
and they just ran the
it
regular
was
shows.
effectively useless.
Yeah, you couldn't actually like really watch it unless you like had like the digital kit know how to like record it and everything and like bring it back and and people didn't do that shit back then.
Yeah, this was, I think, 2007, 2006, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
And it didn't go well.
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh,
I
it was
honestly
funny.
thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, arise, great chicken, arise.
They also did like a lot of music shit too.
Yes, Adult Swim was hugely influential to the music industry. Yes, just in terms of like the lo-fi chill and a lot of that, they actually took a lot
Propped up a lot of underground artists and
They
stuff.
took a lot of, no-name artists, a lot of basically underground artists who really were looking for a break, and they used them during bumper scenes. They used them during times in between shows just to fill up slots. They would do, whole music videos. They would
They
do,
would write the intros for the songs.
yeah, they would have the intros for the songs. There was a few that like really made it big off of there.
MF Doom.
MF Doom was huge.
Yeah.
MF Doom was.
And
He never like
Danger Mouse.
he never made it into like the mainstream, but in terms of the underground, he was probably
One of the bigger,
one of the biggest and definitely one of the most influential. I mean,
especially after his passing. His fame kind of
Yeah, his
skyrocketed.
he definitely had that like posthumous artist effect there.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that like there was whole documentaries and things like this you can find on YouTube about your favorite artist, your favorite rapper's favorite rapper, and almost everybody was like MF Doom. Kind of
MF
like
Doom and what's his name? The guy that got blacklisted for basically GG Allening.
R.A.
Yeah,
R.A. the Rugged Man.
yeah, he
But
that's one of those
MF,
like
but MF, he did a lot. Rest in peace. Danger Mouse is another one that was hugely influential.
I
He
think
was
they actually did a song together too.
Danger Mouse.
MF Doom and
R.A.
yeah,
I don't know offhand.
didn't they?
I
do
know
it-
that he did something with Gorillaz.
Well, I'm talking like didn't they do something like for like Jedi mind tricks?
They might have. Like I said, I don't know offhand.
Yeah, whatever.
But Future
Actually,
was
you know, a
on
weird
it.
one where MF Doom featured an Avalanche song, the Avalanche song, Frank Sinatra. I've shown
Yeah.
you it. Yeah.
Which one?
Frank Sinatra by the Avalanches, which, by the way, really good songs and really fun music videos too.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Avalanches is something that would be on Adult Swim. They would have a lot of metal. They would have a lot of,
It's hard
like I
to
said,
explain them.
lo-fi chill. They would have like Logic, Future. They would have these just silly to think about now. People that were just getting started at the time and really just searching for a break, and it helped out with that. It was insane.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
kind of
they,
weird, but like I don't know. You
I
guys
remember
could
watching
disagree with me, but, like, I feel like
Intergalactic. Sorry.
no, I don't know. It's just kind of I don't know why. It's like it's almost like now, like Adult Swim would be like that. Like would be like if an Adult Swim were to air
It was-
like this type of stuff now, like the stuff
It-
that they were doing back then.
It was
would
the-
be like that Brooklyn hipster vibe. That's what people would turn it into. but because of when the time frame, I think it was able to have like a different morph. But because of how people view things and like the music that was on there, I kind of feel like it would have turned towards that like hipster fucking bullshit vibe. It would have been like that, like
So I definitely feel like it had the cool older brother vibes, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Like the
It was the cool older brother of
cool older
television.
brother or the cool uncle vibes.
Yeah, that one who like
Somewhere
you
in
sit there
there.
and smoke weed and shit with
Yeah.
during Thanksgiving and stuff.
because that's when it came. Like that's the era. But now that era, I think would have been.
At the
I mean,
mic.
they're kind of bringing it back because, like I said, they're bringing back Aqua Teen and stuff.
yeah, I
I,
mean,
don't think they're
it-
bringing back Robot Chicken, but I'd be surprised.
So we can talk about some of the later on shows from, not the initial couple years because it, like I said, it was huge in bringing about just pilot after pilot after pilot after pilot and just whatever
We're having
stuck
like some
stuck.
great shows that run for like 3 seasons, like Moral Oral.
I don't know if I'd call that a great show.
Have you rewatched that show?
It was good, but I don't know if I'd call it a great show.
It's weird because if you rewatch it,
I would say
It's-
Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse is great.
Metalocalypse was awesome, and
That show got fucking dark.
I did not like Super Jail. There was something about the art style,
Super Jail is definitely love it or hate it, yeah.
and I definitely feel like it was.
The intro song was banging though.
The intro song was awesome.
Cheeseburger Going Home.
Yeah. There's just a lot of like love it or hate it shows on there that, again, as stated, it just ran pilot in 15-minute clips, and it just went everywhere. Xander, Renegade Angel.
Oh, that show is fucking bonkers. The
What was
Oblongs.
the Oblongs? Oblongs was another one of my favorites. What was the? Was it the Eric Andre show where he dressed up as a clown? He fucking
No, so that's Children's Hospital.
Children's Hospital.
Oh,
Children's Hospital
Yeah,
was-
that
Was Eric Andre on that?
Yeah, they did
He
some
might have
live
done a couple
action
cameo,
stuff.
but
I think he did.
he
some
wasn't one of the
cameos.
main focus.
No, he,
No, you're
I'm
the, yeah,
pretty
I'm in
sure he
Children's
was on.
Hospital with like the doctor guy who dressed.
Yeah, is it-
yeah.
That's him and Eric. Awesome show. Great job. Ugh,
I
I hated that show. I hated its humor, but so many people loved it.
What was the mouse show?
Danger? No. Danger Mouse. Maybe. Renegade Mouse.
Yeah, Renegade
Mouse.
That didn't air that long.
No, that
No.
didn't last very long.
That didn't.
There was like
That-
Assy McGee.
he
That
drops
Assy
out of the
McGee.
ceiling. I
Shit.
remember that in Danger Mouse. Where he drops out of the
Assy
ceiling.
McGee
He's
felt
like,
more
"I'm
like a
trying to
Comedy
make out
Central
on you."
show. Yeah, Assy McGee felt like a comedy, like a shitty Comedy Central show,
Yeah.
which was weird.
It was because like
They
it
were
was all,
definitely
like-
kind of competing after a while.
Oh,
and they
yeah.
knew it.
Oh yeah.
like some of the animation, some of the artwork on there was so like low budget, just like
Yeah.
It was
just
it
you
was
could
awful.
tell-
It
you
was
could
awful.
tell
A
it was
child
put
made
together.
it.
Yeah, it was. You
They're-
could tell it was put together for like $150 in somebody's mom's basement.
I mean,
and they're
like,
just
look at
yeah,
home-
we're
home
gonna trip
movies,
out
though.
on acid and come up with a 15-minute, pretty much short. You know, like
They're-
That's
they're
what it
definitely
was.
The
It was.
throwing
It was
money, doing the Netflix throwing money and seeing what stuck thing at the time before Netflix was throwing money and seeing what stuck at the time.
yeah.
No,
but
they
the only
did-
thing is Netflix is
They took
doing
it-
it on this crazy fucking scale.
Budget
With,
level, yeah.
But yeah,
So
like, this
Netflix-
was like low budget. Sorry.
Netflix is doing it with seasons, whereas Adult Swim is doing it with
Pilots and maybe
Episodes.
yeah.
15-minute episodes.
Yeah. Like-
They have the wherewithal to just be like, look it.
It was almost
It
like
cost us $1,000 to air this. Let's go.
it was kind of like a fucking like America's Got Talent, but for fucking like you go up there, you fucking strut your shit for 15 minutes, and then if we
It's
liked
a-
you or if
they-
it was enjoyable,
So-
then you got to come back for the final,
It's
for
a
the
good
finale.
way to get your
Otherwise,
demo reel out there for like to get
Yeah.
shot for bigger projects.
They-
kind of like an LP, and then until you fucking get picked up for the
They
the
also
EP.
they also definitely had a couple where they knew that they had messed up, where they would buy the whole season and they knew that they had messed up.
Oh yeah.
Minora Teams is one of them.
Oh, that show was so.
I don't even remember that. I don't think I've ever. heard of
Minora Team. Oof.
Minora Team was
that. It sounds
It's
crazy weird.
so
Okay. It was like
I don't know how to describe it without getting incredibly close to that censor bar.
So
I'm just gonna go off of
Basically,
what
it
it
was a-
sounds like, and I can just go from there.
it was like a superhero team themed around
Bunch of
Stereotypes.
minority
stereotypes.
teenagers.
No,
No,
not
no.
teenagers. Full adults.
Yeah, no, they're adults.
Oh.
But it was centered around like, adult like racial stereotypes. Like there was an African guy who ran really fast. I mean, the other joke was when they're not in their superhero form, they were like, extremely successful versions of themselves. Like they're like the complete opposite. But when they're in it, they're like the complete stereotype. It's
And so
Yeah.
Mike bought it off of just watching the pilot. He bought it for a whole season, and he instantly regretted it.
yeah.
he
Milk was a bad choice.
reference, but he it's been on record that like that's one of the things that he regrets the most about Adult Swim, and just
That one show.
Oh my god, he hated it. He absolutely hated it.
Did he bother even airing the entire thing, or was
Yes.
he just like,
Oh,
fuck
no,
it,
they
this
paid
is
the
terrible?
shows.
I know they paid for it, but so what? I'm sure they could have
No,
just
they
been
paid
like,
for
I'm
it,
not
they'll
even going
eat
to
it.
bother.
No, they'll
Yeah.
eat it if they pay for it. They've done it.
Yeah. And I mean, we can talk about probably because there's a, little die down in terms of things from the Family Guy resurgence, the Futurama resurgence. Things start to die down a little bit in the early 2010s.
All the fucking King of the Hill they kept playing.
Yeah, King of the Hill was a huge rerun for them.
Not a fan of that one.
No.
There's some good bits in it, but overall,
King of the Hill
eh.
was so, eh.
But they start going weirder and weirder. They start having these really long, elaborate bumpers. They start having like 15-minute long just acid trips on TV. Just
Yeah.
they start going,
the Too Many Cooks thing.
yeah, they start going really deep with it.
They did the,
Order
salad,
like
the
weird-
salads, right? That was one of their infomercials. The salad spinner, right?
And
Was
then
that, no? Wasn't that
then-
one of their commercials?
and then after that, they end up
No.
getting
I think.
this new juggernaut, Rick and Morty.
So full disclosure, in the Lost Episode podcast of this,
We
This was-
covered Adult Swim, and this was before
for the Justin Roiland information
Fiasco.
drop. Yeah.
but Rick and Morty was this fucking juggernaut. It came out of nowhere, and it just took over everything. I mean, there was no escaping Pickle Rick for an
Oh, in
entire
season
fucking
3?
year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was so dumb.
And the fucking.
Oh wait, no,
Szechuan
sorry.
sauce.
I don't have a 200 IQ. Obviously, I just don't understand it. It made these. Honestly, some of them are just fucking pretentious assholes because they're like, "Oh, look at funny, 200 IQ," but like, it was a good show, but to me, it didn't deserve as much as it got. I think that there were better shows.
Oh, there's
Hot
definitely
take.
better shows.
Hot
Way
take.
better shows. Far better shows.
Adventure Time? You guys like Adventure Time?
Venture Time. How could we skip Venture Time?
Adventure Time wasn't Adult Swim, though.
Adventure Time.
Venture Brothers.
Oh,
Sorry.
Venture Brothers.
Adventure Brothers, yeah.
I know what you
Adventure
meant.
Time
Venture
wasn't on.
Brothers
Adventure
was,
Time was never on Adult
No.
Swim?
No, it was never on Adult Swim. It was towards.
It was actually originally pitched for Nickelodeon.
Yep.
They
were
showed
like, "It's
the
too dark."
pilot of, yeah. They initially showed the first pilot episode, but then they decided they didn't want it, and then
Cartoon Network pre-Toonami, post like children era.
pre-Toonami revival, because
Yeah.
this is post-Toonami death, pre-Toonami revival.
That was an
We should do an
adult.
episode on Toonami.
That was an Adult Swim April Fools bringing back Toonami. That's how it came back because the fans demanded it so much.
Oh yeah.
The
But-
voice of Spike Spiegel is also Tom.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
They might not be.
But yeah, no, the Toonami thing. Toonami itself was initially its own original block that just aired anime and certain American action cartoons.
Yep, it was.
They're basically the
They brought back Adult Swim, brought back Powerpuff Girls. Adult Swim brought back Samurai Jack. Adult Swim brought back
Did
Toonami.
Adult Swim bring back Powerpuff
Johnny
Girls?
Bravo.
Yes, it did not bring back Johnny Bravo.
They should bring back.
It's
Johnny
wasted that they didn't bring back Johnny Bravo or Cow and Chicken. Oh,
Oh,
a
Cow and
new
Chicken-
Cow and Chicken.
Cow and Chicken would be perfect for Adult Swim because they were already pushing that line, especially with like the Buffalo Girls, which they I think they stopped.
Carpet Munchers.
Yeah, the carpet eating Buffalo Girls, and then just literally eating fucking pork ass.
Yep.
They're eating ass. And no wonder this generation eats ass. They're fucking watching it on. The
Rocco's Modern Life.
Which we referenced that earlier.
Invader Zim.
Invader. They
They brought it back. I'm aware that they
Yeah.
brought it back, but
no, I was
it
gonna
should have been
say,
an Adult Swim thing.
Invader Zim only endeared itself to me because they had an extended Vampire Hunter D reference in the beginning of one episode. Yes. Other than that, to me, it was just like that Hot Topic Cheek show.
So
Hot
I know
Topic,
it
now
was-
There's a topic.
I knew it was. I know that it was Nickelodeon, but Kablam.
Kablam was fucking great.
They should bring back Kablam on Adult Swim.
They could put it on, say, Paramount Plus and give it, say, the iCarly treatment almost esque.
But it just.
Which, by the way, they had an extended threesome joke in the iCarly revival.
Yes,
I'm
you've
not
told
even
me.
joking.
You've told me. But
Yep, the world needs to know that.
Venture Bros.
All 50 of them.
Venture Bros was a Paramount, just this another pillar of Adult Swim and its content for the longest time. It was a parody of Johnny Quest, and it made no subtlety of being a parody.
Oh,
they
no, they
had
had-
them in it.
Oh, they even had the Scooby-Doo gang, a Blade pastiche.
Yeah, they made no qualms about saying that they were a parody effectively.
Yeah.
And it fucking worked. It was great. I never got super into Venture Brothers, but you could pick up any point and just kind of get into it. It's better if you sit and watch it all because it is story based.
Supposedly
But-
they're trying to give it a wrap-up movie.
Yeah.
Supposedly. And they're trying to bring in another wrap-up for Metalocalypse.
Metalocalypse, another Paramount, another pillar, if you will.
I mean, they had like I want to say 3 or 4 solid albums that actually get like legitimate.
Yes, actual albums. Again, that's part of just Adult Swim and its music. It really was just these stapletons, and it's hard to really say how much Adult Swim kind of changed media for so many people. Because again, it was the cool older brother. It was the cool uncle that prepped you for South Park. It was that go-between Simpsons and
So
You
I
know.
think so
Simpsons.
for us growing up.
let's
like,
be real.
to
It
go
was
back to the-
let's
like the
be
cool-
real. Let's be real. It was a go-between with Simpsons and like fucking
I was
Team
watching-
America.
I felt I was watching Simpsons earlier than I was
So
watching.
I mean,
Adult
I think
Swim.
I would
Yes, it was longer.
I would kind of like make the comparison to like because you say like the cool older brother, so or like the cool uncle who was that's what that was like watching that. So when I was younger, that was kind of like me watching Rugrats, and then my uncle being the cool uncle watching like Beavis and Butthead or Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah,
It's like that's what it was. It's like oh shit,
because that's what it was available at the time.
yeah. That's exactly how
Yeah.
it kind of was. Like then I kind of graduated from watching Rugrats and like moving along the lines up to like Animaniacs and like that stuff. And then like
Animaniacs.
Yo, Animaniacs was. The revival wasn't bad either.
no, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
terrible.
It wasn't bad.
So like you just
That's
progress,
positive.
and then that's why Adult Swim, like I said earlier, it like fed that void. Like you want to keep progressing in that. Sorry, I'm so used to just like talking and listening, looking at the person I'm talking to.
I'm
look me
still
in the
picking them up
eyes.
and stuff.
But yeah, so that's what I would try and I would make that reference as.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, no, but they definitely had like a lot of really good like go between shows that like you could start with.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. I mean, not everything was, Team America or fucking Sausage Party. It was,
That fucking movie.
there was plenty of in between, but a lot of it was the natural stepping stone from like I said, from like Simpsons to that. It was a go between. It was their Chappelle show. It was their South Park, and
Chappelle Show was pretty solid.
Chappelle show was
Chappelle Show
great,
was amazing.
and they did him dirty.
I mean, Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
We should do an episode on that. But like, if you watch, go back and watch if you go back and watch Chappelle Show,
I feel like we
this-
would have to do a Dave Chappelle episode, not
yeah.
a Chappelle show episode.
Yeah,
But like he pushed
especially
the
given
boundaries
everything
from
going on with him
episode
now.
1, and they let it go, and then let it go, and let it go, and then finally they're like, now you push the boundaries. But in episode 1 or episode 2 or whatever it is, he's doing the fucking black white supremacist. It's like, how much more edgy could you get? And they let him fucking roll.
Oh, Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah. So it's like, how much more edgy do you get when that's what he's
Well,
doing?
We're
like, in the-
talking about Adult Swim.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just.
Well,
like,
how about this?
really-
We'll use it as sequitur to bring it to your favorite Adult Swim show, Boondocks.
Oh my God, the Boondocks.
Yeah.
That was such a good show.
Such
It
a-
really
That-
was.
They honestly got away with probably more
More
in
than
the
they should have.
Boondock, the Martin Luther King episode alone.
Well, let's face
Oh
it.
my
Cartoons
The
usually.
fact that they let him do that because they're like the only way they're getting away with it is if Martin Luther King himself says it, and they got Martin Luther King to say the word,
But see, like, I feel like
not literally, but
when you deal with cartoons a lot, I feel like you can always push the edge a little bit more.
Yeah.
With a cartoon.
Yeah,
of
there's
any
no
age,
actual face to attach it to.
You know, so like
It's just a voice actor.
it's just a voice, and most people don't even ever know who the voice is unless you're, like.
I mean, to be fair, at that
A
point,
nerd.
you could also
Yeah.
say that as a live action, you are playing a character if you're doing stuff like that. I mean, voice acting is not say playing a character.
Sure,
you
but
are
again,
saying the thing.
But like when you're
Sure,
dealing
but
with,
you're not an AI.
obviously it's fictional character no matter what. When you're playing a role, you're fictional because obviously you're me playing fucking Superman. I'm not Superman. There's no such thing as Superman. But
wait,
that's.
there's no such thing as Superman?
I mean, there's Santa Claus, so I guess there could be Superman.
Yeah, Santa Claus is a Viking apparently.
Yes.
Good movie.
Good, very good movie. Very good movie.
You guys are mean.
So when you're dealing with like cartoons, you can see it. They always are kind of more the first ones to push boundaries.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
can definitely get away with more, as
I mean-
stated.
Fucking Uncle Ruckus.
Oh my God, Uncle Ruckus.
Oh, he was
Not my favorite.
I mean,
Pimp named Slickback's my favorite, but I just love Cat Williams. He's hilarious.
pimp name Slipback.
Yeah.
a pimp named Slickback. You
It's a pimp named Slickback.
You see the whole damn
The
thing.
whole
It's like
thing.
a tribe called Quest.
You don't just say
Can we
call
just call you
Quest.
Can't we just call you Slickback for short? No,
No, pimp named Slipback.
it's a pimp named Slickback.
The Chris Hansen thing. Which is based off a real guy too.
Oh my God. Fucking love the Chris Hansen one. Oh, I know
Oh,
who you
his
are.
reaction to it was
Oh.
great too.
I know who you are. You're Chris Hansen. But I like to call you Chris Handsome. See, I ain't come here for no little boy booty. I came here looking for a man's booty. I like you, and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
We could go ahead and bring all them cameras and cops in here. I don't care. I'll come here for one thing.
I come here for your booty.
And he's like, it was disturbing seeing myself get assaulted.
And
Oh,
then,
God.
and then the actual guy sent him a voicemail. Oh, I want you, Chris Hansen. And when I get out, I'm gonna get you. I
He's
know
still
who
in,
he is.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The
Yeah.
booty warrior.
I mean, the freaking lineup.
Oh,
That-
back in my heyday, if I wanted you, cameras and all, I'd have you. Oh my god.
Oh man, the KFC flu episode.
The chicken flu.
I mean, the
It's
freaking.
The Gangstalicious. I got shot.
I got shot.
They go,
No, I got shot for real.
I got shot for real.
No, seriously, I got shot. Somebody call the ambulance.
Yeah, it took him 20 minutes to actually figure out he wasn't playing. Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's just,
And there's so many good. There's so many just good voiceover lineups that come out of successful shows on Adult Swim. Usually they start
Oh,
off
yeah.
kind of meh, and then
I
they
mean,
start to gain steam, and it's just insane.
The guy who plays Archer was from Home Movies.
Yep.
William H. Benjamin or whatever the hell is in it. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was also,
Archer. That's another one that would be perfect for Adult Swim, but it's not.
Well, they're still running. They're good on FX.
But it's
so, and I think
yeah.
like Boondocks was such a great show because it wasn't a lot of voiceover actors. It was a lot of actors playing voices of these people.
Yeah, like they had Samuel L. Jackson.
Like I was just looking
doing
at this.
extended references to like Pulp Fiction and his
Yeah,
other
Cat
movie shit.
Williams, freaking Samuel L. Jackson, freaking Gary Anthony Williams, freaking
Yeah.
John Witherspoon, God rest his soul. You know, like
He's actively looking this up, by the way.
because I can't remember all this shit off the top of my head. I fucking smoke a lot of weed over the time.
Callback to marijuana episode.
Yeah.
As it turns out, marijuana sometimes rots your brain.
Hell, they played a lot of Gundam on there too.
I'm
Call
not
back
an
to Gundams.
encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Gundam style.
So that was another staple of Adult Swim.
Was the anime.
Introducing a whole bunch of anime to a whole bunch of people that would have never seen it because Toonami was away, or it just was too extreme for Toonami.
I never got into anime.
It's like Grave of Fireflies would have been on Adult Swim.
I think they might have shown it once on Adult Swim. If
Yeah.
not, maybe I want to say Sci-Fi.
But like My Neighbor Totoro was perfect for Toonami.
They would have showed that on regular Cartoon Network too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
I'm just
they
saying,
did
like-
like Cowboy Bebop, which we referenced earlier.
Beep boop.
Outlaw Star, which is phenomenal, by the way.
Trigun.
Trigun, I think that's your favorite.
That is one of my favorite.
You seen the new
anime.
one?
The new movie?
No, the new TV series,
No.
Stampede. Are you going to? Because it's on Crunchyroll. I have.
Probably.
All right, if you feel like watching it, we can.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, they did like I said, Fooly Cooly. That was really good. Definitely a
Cooly was
very
good.
what the hell? It's just 6 episodes, by the way. A real quick watch. I can't speak for the second or third season. I've been meaning to, but hell, they even financed anime, like I said, like the Big O.
Yeah, so they would actually pay to have this shit done because they just believed in it so much.
Yeah.
Or they're like, what's an episode? Like $5?
Yeah.
Yeah, see if it catches.
Obviously not that cheap,
They
but
played
No,
some
but I
pretty
mean-
niche shit, short shit too, like Witch Hunter Robin, Wolf's Rain.
yeah. I think Black Butler was on it.
I don't give a shit.
There was what's that one with the 2 chicks with guns? I think Gurren Lagann might have been on it, or Neon
Gurren
Genesis.
Lagann was on it, yeah.
Neon
Genesis.
Genesis
was on it too. I'm trying to think of the gun chick one. It'll come to me.
Gunstar?
You might be thinking of Black Lagoon. That was never on there.
That's the one.
That was never on there.
That wasn't on there?
No. That one I think was a little too much.
Huh.
Very, very violent.
Intriguing.
It's a good
That's
show,
all.
though.
That is really weird to say. Too violent for Adult Swim when we have shows
Well,
like
they also had-
Mr. Pickles.
Well, they had.
Have you
this
seen
was
Mr.
before
Pickles?
This was before Mr. Pickles because they had what that show shitty. But
Oh my god.
they
Aqua Teen had some.
this
pretty
had
wild
these weird serial killer
That episode
incest
of-
twins.
Yeah.
This was before Rick and
Yeah.
Morty started with that shit, but yeah, Black Lagoon had that. So I think Black Lagoon might have actually got picked up by G4 or Spike.
I could see Spike doing that.
It was played in America somewhere, but I don't remember where. But it wasn't Adult Swim off my memory. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
I could see Spike doing that.
But
But it just like we said, it introduced anime, it introduced music, it introduced skits, it introduced whole formats of just interviewing people with Space Coast Coast to Coast that just instead of being the standard late night TV show, it changed it into something totally different. I mean, Eric Andre. I don't love that show, but it's not bad by any means. It's, I love Hannibal Buress. I think that his shit's funny, but it just
Wait, wasn't he killed by Eric Andre though?
canonically, I have no idea. But there was just so many hits and so many not hits that just. I mean, honestly, you can go down the Wikipedia page and just has stated towards the very beginning
He's
of this.
actively looking this up right now.
Yes.
Fucking call me out, asshole.
Well, I'm just gonna go down the Adult Swim all shows.
Yeah.
Is it not its own separate page?
Adult Swim shows, all shows. 12-ounce mouse.
12-ounce mouse. That's the one that I was talking about with the mouse.
Yes.
Yes.
12
12-ounce
Celebrity
mouse.
Poker.
That thing lasted like a freaking week.
Golf, American Dad, Apollo Gauntlet, Aqua Teen, Assembly
oh, yeah, they had
Line,
American Dad too.
Assy McGee, Attack on Titan, Ball Masters,
Attack on
Totally
Titan wasn't
14s, Bird Girl, Black Clover, Black Dynamite TV show. Oh, that was such a good movie, Black Dynamite. Black Jesus.
Great movie, too.
Blood Feast, Bob's Burgers, The Boondocks.
Oh shit, they aired The Room.
Yeah, Brack Show.
Brack Show. I love the
Dinner in
Brack Show.
America, Bush World Adventures. Check it out, China, Illinois. Commencement Speaker Series, Convention Panels, Cowboy Bebop, Decker, Delocated, Quarantine Valley, the Drinky Crow Show, Eagle Heart, the Eric Andre Show, Fat Girl Stuck in Internet, Fish Center, Fooly Cooley, Frisky Dingo, Futurama, Death Beats, Ghost in the Shell, Giggle Fudge, USA,
Here, so
Gills
instead of
Vanderhoot.
well,
So
'cause-
this
Oh, there it is.
So there's like you can either
this
go,
is just a small portion of the list of things that actually got a season.
if you go, I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm just looking on the Wikipedia just to show how much programming.
Dude, they're still doing
and
April Fool's stuff too this year.
Yeah,
they did it
I
last
know.
year. Yeah.
These are just pilots.
Just
that
let's
they
talk
did.
10 real fast.
I'm just going to count how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25,
It's
26,
weird how many have pages and how many
27,
don't.
28, 29. There's at least
There's thousands.
That looked about 45.
there's like 40 of them. Then there's original specials that's got another. I mean, the programming,
There's
it
70
was
plus.
insane. Like, if you
There's
think about
thousands of things that have aired on this.
think about just like,
Probably. I
I mean,
might be exaggerating a little, but
they,
it's
they filled
insane.
Adult Swim
thousands of
YouTube
hours
in the
worth of
comments
space
answer.
because they would always they had
And they would
their
air.
shows and they were sorry to cut you off. There
Here's-
was 15-minute blocks of shows and they would air these shows. It was for what? It aired for 5 hours a night.
Dude,
and
they
then
have
would be on loop
ARGs.
or something?
It was from 10 to 6 in the morning, typically.
But after a while, after some time, it was on a loop.
Yeah. So I think it was from 10 to 2, and then it just looped back.
Yeah, so
I
10,
think. Don't quote me on that.
So that's
And there might have been new bumpers. I was never
That's like
up that
4 or
early
5 hours?
or late.
of 4 or 5 hours, right? Of 5 hours.
About 4 hours.
4 hours of 15-minute programs, 15-minute blocks. you know?
They had
Some
Chuck
of it were
Norris
half
and the
hours.
Karate
Some of it
At
was.
least
Commandos.
at the what?
Like some
They
of the
had
bigger
Chuck
shows
Norris
were.
and the Karate Commandos at one
Yeah.
point.
And,
Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Holy shit,
Yeah.
that's a weird one.
And it's just, if I continue to go down the list, it's just callback on callback on callback that, you may have only seen an episode or two of, but is immortalized in your brain because of a fucking reference somehow, some way that you just never fucking knew where it
some
came from.
dumbass
Like-
Robot Chicken quote.
6-ounce,
12-ounce mouse.
12-ounce mouse. One of just the most random fucking quote from that. I just remember him he was at the bar and he was like trying to hit on this mouse and he like fucking propels down to the fucking from the ceiling and he like drops in front of the girl. He's like, "What's up, girl? I'm trying to make out on you." It's like, I don't know why, just like that fucking line. It's like the funniest, stupidest thing. It's like, who, like this fucking mouse propelling from the air. like he's fucking 007. Like, what's up, girl? I'm just trying to make out on you. Why are you being so offended?
My favorite bar scene quote is "Wee Man" from Jackass 3.
I was listening to the
When
Johnny
he's
Knoxville.
I'm her boyfriend.
podcast this
Well, that's
morning.
cool. I'm
That's
her
marvelous.
man friend.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That is a good one.
but
I love the.
then they get the tiny cops and the tiny fucking paramedics and shit. Yeah.
Yep. So rare to see that many fucking little people.
And then they're interviewing the bar people, like, I don't know. Then like the tiny cops came in here and arrested people and shit.
But it just. Adult Swim really was and is this powerhouse that just changed media, as said. It really is hard to say just how much it influenced things because it's just still doing it. I mean, for God's sakes, as stated with the fucking Rick and Morty thing, that was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. McDonald's was forced to listen to it. The biggest fast food place in the world, debatably. And it just needed to listen to it because of the fucking Szechuan sauce, the Szechuan obsession, and just this stupid love for it.
The guy who did the Pickle Rick thing regrets doing that. He did it as a parody joke, and now he's like, he hates the fact that he did that shit.
Yeah.
If you remember that little freak out joke video thing.
Let's be honest. He doesn't regret cashing that fucking check. He might not be happy because people annoy the shit out of him, but
No,
the
he
guy's
just,
fucking making bank off of Pickle Rick, so he can
no,
say
I'm
what
talking
he
about the
wants.
kid who like did that freak out thing and yeah. No,
He's
no,
probably
that-
making bank off that too. Shit went viral.
I don't know. Viral fame only gets you so far,
Yeah.
especially if it's negative viral fame.
Yeah. But it
I mean, look at the Star
Island
Wars
Boys?
kid. What?
Island Boys.
Oh, fuck those guys.
well, the Star Wars kid was like really early internet virality.
Well, it was also, he didn't mean for that to get out.
Yeah.
Somebody uploaded that. Yeah. So
But again, that was also like 2000 internet viral. Obviously, that's like 2004, 2005 viral, but still.
I mean, it was referenced on South Park and shit.
Yeah, it was definitely not the same type of viral as Pickle Rick.
Which admittedly was a decent scene when he did the armor up. That was neat, but like the whole meme of itself is stupid as shit.
Just
It was.
I've seen up to season 3 and including season 3. It's not a bad show. I hate the fans. The fans lose so much respect for me.
I mean, again, now given the stuff that's gone on with what's his fit with Justin Roiland, it's kind of awkward to enjoy it.
I mean,
I think they should have just canceled it, but given they've already sunk cost fallacy.
he was the showrunner, right?
He also voiced most of the characters.
So it's
He's very much like Matt Parker and Trace stoned himself into it.
I don't know. That's a topic for a different thing. It's not impossible to get different voice actors.
No, in fact, there's like videos, like there's a whole video of him, like, you know, going over like who he thinks would be good voice actors himself. That's like, oh, could use some of these guys.
Yeah, like
But-
it's not impossible. It just, I don't know. Let's not bring the podcast down. let's talk about something lighter, like Andrew Tate getting arrested.
Oh god, that fucking.
Fuck you. Fucking sex trafficking.
He was always annoyed at that because some young dumbass said something about it in front of him earlier.
They said free Andrew Tate, and I'm just like, what?
Free the top G.
What?
No.
You know why he was arrested, right?
If he is guilty, which I can only assume he is, I've heard some of those leaked voicemails.
Allegedly. We have to put in the words allegedly right now.
He's guilty.
As it turns out, he was arrested. That is not an alleged. He was arrested on these charges. However, it has not technically, as of recording this, been proven in the court of law that he has done this.
Honestly, I don't know if he's the one who did anything, but his brother looks and sounds like the more
Culpable.
yeah. If there's anybody who's actually probably more the mastermind behind it, like it looks like his brother.
But that's totally different from Adult Swim. Adult Swim is just awesome. It really is.
Oh yeah, join us on our special episode where we travel to a Romanian prison to fight Andrew Tate.
We're not doing that. Not unless you join our Patreon, which we don't have.
When we get to 100 fans, we can set up a Patreon, I feel.
Oh, yeah. For our 25th podcast special, we're going to have 25 shots between whoever's here. It's going to be awful.
I mean, I've once done a mad hour, so let's go.
Yeah.
Except that was doing it was a shot every minute of beer or hard cider. And then every 10 minutes he did a shot of liquor.
Gross.
Yeah, we got to about 45 minutes in and kind of fucked up.
Yeah. That's kind of gross.
Good times.
But
That
seeing
was
as how
very
we
dumb.
usually have only 3 people here, 25 shots amongst 3 people is 8, 8, 9.
Oof.
Yeah. So, look forward to our 25th episode.
What episode number is this one right now?
I don't know. I took off the numbers.
I mean, I'll just check the playlist, I guess, and see what's on there.
Yep. Check out our playlist. It has all of our episodes.
Oh yeah, now we have a playlist going. We get.
Like and subscribe.
Oh wait, have you gotten the not sponsored button set up there yet?
No, I don't have the not sponsored button set up yet. What I do have is the
Oh yeah, our censor button.
yeah, so we can just go ahead and
Whatever.
whatever
Anyway.
we want. You good there, bud?
I'm good there,
You
bud.
good there, bud?
I'm good there, bud.
But it just I don't know, man. Adult Swim is it should just stay on forever.
It should. I think they should probably reassess certain things, but yeah.
So, in the Lost episode, we did talk about how they actually moved to like this fucking nasty ass beat up warehouse all the way in the middle of Georgia and just super out of the way and super inconvenient for anybody to ever check up on the headquarters of it because they just wanted as much freedom as possible. So they were kind of just like, well,
And
it's
tax
making money. I
reasons.
guess we don't have to go there.
Plus tax reasons too.
Yeah, but they wanted as little oversight as possible. They wanted Papa Ted to do as little as possible and have as much, as little influence as possible with this. And they really did just want freedom and just fuck around. There was an entire April Fool's episode where he just aired this random Canadian cartoon that they had acquired the license to when Ted bought TBS. TBC?
TBS.
Yeah, TBS.
Yeah, TBS.
And
So that like TBS and like all that's headquartered out of Atlanta. So like they weren't just like
Yeah, there's a
in
reason.
Georgia. So like they weren't
Georgia
just
Pe-
like
Peach Studios.
It's not
is a
like
thing.
everything was in California and they just like tucked away some random spot in Georgia. So like they had ties to that Georgia area, but they
Yeah.
definitely weren't in the compound.
yeah. They were, to put it in equivalency, they were like going from New York City to Jersey. Like,
I
it
mean, you
wasn't-
could've said Albany and it still would have worked.
it wasn't
More
like,
so Albany because they're still
they're still in,
in the state.
the state, but Albany has like some people, whereas Jersey is effectively just kind of the armpit of America. It just,
Yeah, Jersey.
you live there, so this way you can travel to New
Hell
York
is
City.
canonically in Jersey.
Yes, thanks, Futurama. But only robot hell. Who would have thought hell was real? And in Jersey.
Well, actually, wee. Honk honk. What? You can still die? You want to die? Honk honk.
Futurama. Great show. Check it out.
Electric, the most evil kind of car.
Number one in the hood, G.
Aquatianographers.
Nice segue.
Yeah.
So, since we've digressed,
We've digressed enough. You can
Enough.
talk about your favorite
we should all talk about our favorites.
Boondocks.
So, I mean,
Black Dynamite is also up there.
Aquatine.
That's
Robot-
up there.
Robot Chicken, this has
That's
got
up
to be
there.
one of my favorites,
Yeah.
for sure.
It really is hard to put a favorite, except I will say that the Boondocks is the favorite.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you always want to watch all of them, but there's always one like, I definitely can't miss this episode. You
Yeah.
know, and it was usually Robot Chicken or Aquatine
For you.
for me. For
Robot
me.
Chicken both went on longer and shorter than I thought it would have after I kind of stopped watching.
Well, Robot Chicken, it had a long freaking run.
Yeah, that's a surprisingly
Like,
long run.
I don't know exactly how long, but it definitely got into, I'd say, 8 seasons, maybe 9.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't a spring chicken. It
I mean,
was a
it kind of got.
Spring
It kind of
Chicken,
once they
Robot
started
Chicken.
doing like
a spring
the
Robot Chicken, you would
the
say.
episode, like the special episodes where they'd reuse skits for like the theme, like the Star Wars one, because the Star Wars, with Robot Chicken, there was like the few Star Wars special episodes.
Yeah, there was
and
a couple of
they clearly
those.
reused sketches from earlier seasons and bits for it and stuff, and then, but yeah, when they started kind of doing that a little bit more, I was like, all right, I'm done here. But then they kept going a few more years longer than they thought they did. But I mean, whatever.
It all worked out in the end.
I mean, like I said, I've seen fucking Robot Chicken bits on fucking TikTok now. Like,
Yeah, well, because I just looked it up. Robot Chicken, the 11th season started airing.
11?
Yeah, September 7th, 2021.
Holy shit, I think I tuned out like season 5.
So,
yeah, but if you watch
We-
some of the stuff that's coming out, like I've come across some like random episodes and stuff, and like some clips and stuff.
we should talk about one thing as well that we've kind of glossed over that definitely helped Adult Swim just stick around and become a mainstay. In addition to being very active online and having actual emails and making it feel like people were participating, which they were. You know, they had fan days, they had choose the programming, they had vote for things. They also had a website where you could watch entire episodes for free.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They were one of the
And
pioneers
games.
of that, where they just, you want our shows? We'll give you our shows.
It's some pretty fun Flash games too.
And they made it super accessible. It really did help. And that part can't be understated, just how much it was actually beneficial to them. It just... Go ahead, Robot Chicken. Go ahead, Robot Chicken. We were talking about Robot Chicken in its 11th season and some of the newer episodes.
No, I'm just
I
saying.
just
I was
wanted
just
to-
saying. Yeah, some of the newer episodes are still fucking funny. You know, you still sit there and it's going over some of the newer stuff, but it's still also fucking satires on some of the older stuff, and it's still fucking good. You know, I mean, it's got good writers, it's got good creators, good fucking voiceovers and stuff. It's crazy after after
Oh yeah,
11 years.
they got some good. They actually got some good like celebrities and shit on Robot Chicken too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some actual talent and stuff on there too. But and like I said, it was done by Seth Green and
He's been around for a while.
Yeah. You know, he's done a bunch of good stuff. So
Austin Powers. Family Guy.
yeah.
Just probably his two biggest non-Robot Chicken roles.
Yeah. He's done bit parts in other movies and TV shows and stuff.
yeah, he had what was that? One with
he had
Sarah
a-
Michelle Gellar, right? With,
Oh yeah, that's right. I think he was in.
high school movie.
Was
Not
he-
10 Things I Hate About You. Fucking.
Yeah, he was in a few other things. Well, him and Seth MacFarlane like worked together a lot too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that happens with,
Yeah, well, no.
With
fucking.
Seths. There's not many sets.
Well, no, it just happens.
Obviously, I'm kidding.
Just happens after.
Which, by the way, I am just
25.
I am just waiting for something to come out about that guy.
Fucking, it happens after 20 years
What do
of
you think
fucking
of the
Family
over?
Guy.
What do you think the over/under odds about him?
Has it been 20 years for Family Guy?
It's been over 25 years.
For 25?
If you include if you don't include the years where they were
Idle Hands,
canceled and
remember
stuff,
Idle
yeah,
Hands?
it's been like 25 years now
Holy shit.
because they were canceled for like 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
I can't believe that. Fucking Family Guy.
it's only they're only on like season 21 or 22 or something like that, but like on overall, it's like almost 25 plus years, I think.
The
Because
first episode date was 1999, you fucking liar.
was it?
Yes.
I could have sworn it was a couple years earlier.
You're a
than
fucking
that.
liar.
I could have
How
sworn it
fucking
was like
dare you.
1997,
So it's still 24 years.
1998.
Not yet. January 31st, 1999.
It's all literally
That's 24 years.
24 years. In 2 days.
Okay, so that's almost 25 years.
2 days,
Whatever.
3 days from airing, from when we're recording.
Whatever. Anyway.
Anywho's it.
Yeah,
But
no, they.
still, that.
I'm waiting for something to come out about that guy. What do you think the over under is?
I mean, it probably.
It's just gonna be weird because if they have to cancel him and they're still keeping Family Guy around, it's gonna be real weird to fill in all those voice slots.
Yeah, he's.
It's crazy because you think about canceling and you just mentioned what get canceled and all these things that get canceled, and it's like Family Guy never got canceled.
Yes, it did.
Did
It got canceled a few times.
Yeah,
No, they
but it,
canceled
like,
whole episodes.
I mean, they're gonna stop a couple episodes from airing, but it's never like, oh my god, they just said this, and now they're gonna shut down. And now
Oh, you're talking about trying to do a complete shutdown.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they shut-
that happens.
How many? That happens.
It happens. It's nowhere near as popular as some other things, though.
No, they'll never shut. The Family Guy is gonna get away with, as you know, for most of the part, they'll get away with whatever they want. Same with like. Same with like South Park and stuff. Like they push the limits and they're always getting away with all that stuff.
Yeah, but again, like there are still people trying to get them canceled. It's just a matter of them actually being small things versus larger things based off of knowing like the style of comedy. Kind of like what happens with
I feel like when
It-
you get canceled
it's-
is when
it's
you
kind of like what happened with Tropic Thunder and Robert Downey Jr. Like people understand that yes, he was doing something that he probably shouldn't, but he was also doing it as a satire of everybody doing things that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Like,
It was definitely one of those. It wasn't meant to be that type of joke. It's meant to be that. Similar to like how American Psycho isn't meant to be that type of a movie. It's meant to be that type of a movie. But people who like Andrew Tate seem to not think that.
what a dumbass.
Hey, bring it back around.
Full circle. Full circle. Let's go.
But
like Rage Against the Machine said, it's coming back around again.
yep.
Jesus.
Oh no, we can't talk about them. They're woke and political now.
Oh,
When the fuck did Rage Against the Machine get political?
It's
It
in the
always
name.
was.
it's
in the
wait,
name.
what? Rage
My
Against the
personal
Machine?
favorite. My personal favorite was the boomers getting pissed about Pink Floyd with the rainbow. Oh, lose the rainbow, Pink Floyd. It's the prism from Dark Side of the Moon. You were fucking there for it. How do you not remember this?
Oh, it's crazy. People getting pissed about fucking. Oh, you went to go see Rage Against the Machine. Yeah, I went to go see Rage Against the Machine because I fucking love Rage Against the Machine, and I grew up listening to them, and I don't know what that makes me, just other than somebody who likes their fucking music, and I'll separate myself from the bullshit, you know.
Well, good. You better separate yourself.
Oh my god! And as a massive fan of Pink
coming
Floyd,
back
that
around.
bothers me so much too.
Canonically established. Massive fan.
Oh, I love Pink
Right
Floyd.
There.
But
It just.
you were there.
All right. I think.
Oh Lord. Anyway,
I think we've rambled on enough about Adult Swim.
and stuff. Oh yeah, Led Zeppelin. There, good. Bring it to the rock and roll episode.
As if Pink Floyd was. What?
Pink Floyd's amazing. Led
Yeah, but
Zeppelin
you
is
didn't say
amazing.
bring it back to the rock and roll episode for Pink Floyd.
Or Rage Against the Machine. Yeah. Oops.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
All right, this seems like a good place to end it.
Do we even do anything?
For the ending? No,
No,
we
for-
don't do anything for the ending.
Oh, I was
for
gonna
the
make-
whole-
I just
for
say,
the-
goodbye,
Oh,
we'll see
wait.
you next week, and
Wait,
it'll
no, I know.
cancel it.
Wait. Ready? Bring it to anime. Good night, folks. No?
Can't-
He would,
I bid you adieu.
When they do the double entendre in Animaniacs, mwah, good night, folks. Whatever. All right. Bye.
But yeah, what we do is we just cut off right during
We Sopranos it.
we just cut off mid-sentence.